a fever dream of like glam and gore,
It's
artsy,
great.
Yeah.
dark, full of twists. And then you have this like haunted hotel.
Howdy, folks. You like blood, violence, freaks of nature? Of course you do. Then you're at the right place because you're another episode of the Scary Movie Project, the podcast where we talk about scary movies, of course. And you know, I am your host, Matt. I am so glad you all are here today because haunted houses, witches, freak shows, New York City, so many different wonderful topics in today's show because we're talking about your favorite anthology show, American Horror Story. You love it. It is an anthology series on many different topics, ranging in the realm of horror. Now, you know it's not just me because I couldn't ramble about that for an hour. I have two lovely guests. My first guest is Bill Vaughan, who Bill needs no introduction. You've seen him on our live shows. You've seen him on talking about audio in the horror film Nosferatu, which, oh man, okay. Sidebar. We'll have to let our other guests pause for a moment because Bill and I
Yeah.
went to see Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. I posted about it. Bill, your thoughts? You enjoyed it, yeah?
I enjoyed it. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what it is? Not only was it cinematically like just
It's beautiful, right?
the filming was incredible. The camera
Yeah.
work is
Yeah.
incredible,
It
especially
really
with the dark
was.
spaces, but also they filled in some gaps that the original, 1924 film, 22 film couldn't fill in. They were because the time was short,
Yeah.
and the dialogue, but when it came to like the set design, everything, hands down,
Yeah. It's beautiful, right?
that's how you redo a movie.
I know. It was so like the cloudy and the dread that like just kept on you like the whole time, and it's just like
Yes.
oh, and he was scary. Count Orlok was scary in his voice, and it was he did a really good job. He did a really
It
good
was
job.
incredible. I will see it again.
Yeah, he did a really good job. So that was our sidebar for Nosferatu review. Thanks for joining us. Anyway, but
That's
then
it.
we
That's
have a
the end.
wonderful new guest today because so this is the great thing here. Our other guests and Bill and I, we used to work together and we used to ramble about horror story all the time, water cooler stuff, right? When you had an office and you had water coolers. So my other guest, she's an event director extraordinaire. She brings unforgettable experiences to life across U.S. and Africa. She's a
Yes.
boss mom with two lively boys, keeping her on her toes. She is obsessed with fashion, travel, fitness, real housewives,
Yep.
crime, true crime, serial killers, and murder mysteries, which is why I love her. She's living a fabulous event and binge-worthy show at a time. Joe Melissa Gonzalez. That's like
Yes.
probably
Salute,
the
Cheers.
salute,
biggest
salute,
intro we've
salute.
ever had on this show. I think. Thank you for joining us.
Finally.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
actually very, very flattered.
And we
This is
have been
my,
talking
I
about
We
doing
always
this
know,
talk about having you
episode
on.
for a long
we've
time.
been planning this for like years, I guess.
Seriously,
So
like at least a year, I think we've been talking about doing this for real.
I know. Thank you for being so patient. But I'm really,
Hey,
really honored and so flattered to be part of this podcast. I can put it in my
wonderful.
resume now as a
Please.
podcaster.
Yes,
Yes.
please do.
Yes.
And if you ever have a Housewives podcast, I probably couldn't help you with that, but you can. I don't know. You find. You know what? But the connection I told you know this that I talk about with the Housewives is what is her name?
Yep.
I forgot her name.
Kyle Richards.
Kyle
Kyle
Richards is on one of the
Beverly Hills.
Housewives, but for you
Mm-hmm.
horror fans, as you know, Kyle Richards is Lindsay Wallace from the original Halloween, the little girl in the movie. So that's
Yep.
Yep.
really cool. Yeah, she is, and she's in like Halloween Kills, and I think, and then one of the other ones. Anyway, that's another
Yes.
topic. So American Horror Story is awesome, and there's
Yes.
11 seasons of it, right? So
12.
12. Sorry.
Amazing.
So we'll real quick. What we're gonna do is we're gonna rank our top 5 for you guys, but
Yes.
just real fast. So we'll go one. Murder House is your first. Asylum was season 2. Coven 3. Freak Show.
Mm-hmm.
Hotel. Roanoke.
Yep.
Cult. Apocalypse. 1984. Double feature. And then you
Mm-hmm.
had Delicate. And then, of course, you also had the American Horror
You
Stories.
forgot the
Yes.
NYC.
Oh, God,
Yes.
you're right. That wasn't on my
Yeah,
list. I'm sorry.
NYC.
Yes, that was a good one. And then there's that American Horror Stories, which is that some like I haven't seen
I
It's a
it.
have
series.
not
It's like
seen that.
1 hour horror stories.
Okay. All right.
And the thing is, they're not sequential, so you can watch them in any order you want to watch them in, depending on what you're in the mood for. But
Okay.
I actually enjoy it, because
It's
it's you get to dig in something quick for an hour, and a half, and
Yeah.
some horror, and then you move on to the next story.
All right.
You know,
I'll check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen him. Put him in that now. Now I'm ashamed to say this, and I'll say it. I have not seen Double Feature. That is the only one I have
It's a
not seen.
shame,
I know.
shame,
Yeah,
shame.
double feature was good. I like
I'll
double feature.
I'll jump off the show, and you guys host the rest of the episode.
I mean, so I'm gonna preface this too, though. Let me say, I didn't finish watching Delicate. I've watched
Thank
the
you for
first
being
half.
honest.
So I'm a
Have you seen Rosemary's Baby? You've seen Rosemary's Baby,
yeah,
right?
yeah, pretty much.
That's
What it
pretty
was.
much what
I
you're
know,
watching.
I know.
That's yeah.
It's pretty
I
much
mean,
that. It's
Kim
a book.
Kardashian with her first dramatic,
Mhm.
real dramatic role, which, she did okay. All things considered, the dynamics that goes into a show like that.
Right.
I also didn't watch Freak Show. I watched 2 episodes of Freak Show and haven't had a chance to get back to see.
Really?
So those are
Okay.
2 seasons I did not see.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
All right.
I'm
preface
the
it
only
when you hear my
one who watched
rankings.
everything.
Huh?
I'm the only one who watched everything.
You've seen everything.
Yes.
I've seen everything. So I actually
That's
didn't see
awesome.
The Delicate when it first came out in September 2023. So I just saw it this past vacation break.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I've seen everything. I'm actually surprised that I was like, oh my God, I'm actually updated.
You win.
Yeah.
You've seen it all. You got us
I
beat.
mean, I'll probably go back and watch Freak Show sometime soon and catch up with Delicate. Sometime later this winter.
They're
while we're
all
still
worth
stuck in
watching.
the house a little bit. But
Yeah.
I mean, everybody loved Freak Show. I just didn't get a chance to watch it all.
Yeah, I love Freak Show. It's really good.
All right. So what everybody paid for, what everybody came for, right? 5 through 1, top 5. We're all gonna give one.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you
You
go.
start.
You guys are my guests. Joe, Melissa,
Oh,
you're
oh.
our new guest. I want you to start.
Oh, okay.
Number 5. Where are we going at number 5?
Oh, all right. So can I give you a little background? So I was
That's all you want.
so decided about my top 3, right?
Okay.
But it took me forever to decide between 4 and 5 because
That happened to me too.
yeah,
happened to
it
me
was
too.
so hard. I'm trying to judge
Yeah.
between 3 seasons but anyway, I had to make a decision. So my top 5 would be season 8, Apocalypse, which was shown in 2018.
Okay. All right.
So I had some notes here. My first note would be it has iconic characters like Michael Langdon, Cody Fern. He's the Antichrist that
Yeah.
we didn't really know that we needed. Cordelia Good is back from the Coven.
Yeah.
It's better than ever. And
Yeah.
then we saw Madison Montgomery as Emma Roberts
Yeah.
character. She definitely steals the show with her sass. And why is it scary? Because it's the whole end of the world thing. It's pretty freaky.
Yeah.
And then Michael is like really cold, calculating, evil, rise to power. He really
great.
gets under his skin.
He's great.
really great. And then why does it stand out for me? It's because it's like the ultimate fandom thing. Is that they brought together Coven and Murder House.
Exactly.
So it's like a reunion. It's perfection.
Yes.
And then, I don't know if you know this, there's a fun fact that Jessica Lange came back as Constance in this show because she was gone since the Freak Show.
Right.
So remember, Freak Show was 2014, so she
That
had
was
like
her
a long
last
break.
one. Okay.
That was her last one.
Yeah.
So that's why, Bill, you need to watch it.
Yeah,
That's right. You'll never get to see
It's
that.
so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
As we
That's right.
get deeper into the discussion, we'll start seeing how some of all these
Yes.
tie in one way or the other. So
So then, why is it so unique for me? Because it has that, epic crossover energy, trying to bring together, it feels like, it's so super satisfying for all American Horror Story fans.
Nice.
And then, the historical background has that Armageddon vibes,
Yeah.
the world ending kind of thing.
Those
And
are
then,
great.
yeah, Michael, Cody Fern, they just kill it. Sarah Paulson. It just shows that, they're the Jessica Lange, the agents that's royalty.
Yeah.
Oh, and then one iconic scene here that's my favorite is when Madison, Emma Roberts, dropping the surprise bitch.
She's great.
Came
I
back.
do like her. She is
yeah,
mean and nasty, and she's great, right? Yeah.
She brought back that,
Absolutely.
surprise bitch, I'm back
Yeah.
to life.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm done.
All right, Bill. What's 5?
So I'm gonna preface this that one, I have like out of the top 5, I would say I had one number 1 and everything was a number 2. So it was hard for me to really start divvying out with that line. But my number 5 was Roanoke.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because the first half of the season focused on a dramatized documentary, that's the first half of the season. So you had the original story characters talking about it. You had the dramatized pieces with the characters on there. But then the second half becomes like a found footage sort of episode where all of a sudden you start to see the doom situation surrounding the production of the documentary and the people and all that stuff. Also, it tied in the history of the Roanoke collie, disappearance. But I think the most iconic part for me was when it introduces, was it Scadich, the original
Lady Gaga, right?
Lady Gaga, yeah. They brought her back.
Right?
Scathage or what was her? Yeah, she's an evil witch, right?
She was the first. She was the first supreme in that lineage.
Yes. Okay, that's right. She was.
So that's why that part is so iconic to me. It's like, okay, now, so pretty much, all of the supremes after that come from that lineage.
Yes.
So they're not as violent, as bloody as she was, but it's still the same, the same lineage.
Okay.
So that's number 5 for me. I'm gonna try to keep it as short as I can. So yeah, that was number 5.
So this is where I start to wonder how I feel like we'll be divided near the top, but I feel like we'll be more in agreement as we get closer to number 1 for some reasons. Okay, so we all have a different opinion because I have 1984 at number 5.
See, that was part of mine, and I had to make it number 6.
It's hard. So,
it's so hard.
Honestly, quite frankly, not the reason, but one of the big reasons, just because it's called 84 because. Look, man, I love my 80s slashers, Friday the 13th, and this is like an homage to 80s slashers movies, so it has to be on my list.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it brings in the 80s. Okay, the costumes and the whole wardrobe are perfect.
Yes.
The slasher Friday the 13th vibe is there. The Killer in the Woods vibe is there with Mr. Jingles.
Mr. Jingles, scary. He's scary.
And they bring back Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, because this is in the 80s in LA and everything's happening. Yep. So all those pieces are really good, and I like it's the bitchy counselor Margaret. You hate her so much, you want her to die, right? And I just thought that was so good.
Her
and
name?
The innocent Emma Roberts trying to be this nice little girl, whatever. And it got kind of crazy near the end, and some things were weird, and they all came back to life, and it was kind of funny, like talking about a cell phone, whatever, that very last scene and things like that. But it's not the perfect season, but I love just the going back. And the nostalgia of it, and this is the cast without like Evan Peters, without Jessica.
Without the royalty,
none of the heavyweights are in this.
Sarah Paulson wasn't there. You're right.
So this is kind of its own.
Leslie Grossman brought it though, as the
she was great.
She was great.
And then if you guys watched, one of my favorite shows was Drew Carey back in the day. Drew's brother plays Mr. Jingles, the killer. So that was I thought that was really good. So there's my number. So there's our number 5. All right, Joe Melissa, what do we got? Where we going?
Oh my God.
4. What do we got at 4?
So my number 4 is season 6, Roanoke.
Okay, 2 Roanokes here. All right.
I know.
I struggle with that one.
I really have to include Roanoke because, again, I'm gonna start with the iconic characters: Shelby, Lily, Rob, Matt, Andre Holland, Adina Porter. Oh my God, she brought it. I think she's like the star.
Cuba Gooding Jr.'s in that.
Yes, Cuba Gooding. And then Sarah Paulson. Remember how we always mocked it? This is just a memorable. Remember how Sarah Paulson would be like, I would reenact it in our former workplace.
That's right.
And the cell phone doesn't run out.
Yeah.
This is funny about Sarah Paulson's character again, and we can elaborate this later on the tie-ins. Is that she plays the reporter. Who else plays the same reporter? Was it Lana Winters?
Lana Winters.
So she shows up at Asylum and in Cult as well, but the same, she's the same character. So it's a tie-in.
Yeah.
All of these.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So why it's scared for me? Because I think it's one of the scariest one. I think it's the scariest one because it's like real life mockumentary, a show within the show.
Yeah.
It's got that vibe. I was actually gobsmacked when I found out that it was actually a show within the show. So I was like, whoa.
It got you,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It got me.
What was it, episode like 5 or 6?
One way halfway through the season, and it changed in the second half of the season.
Yes, and you had no idea that was coming.
No, and it threw you off.
It's just so scary, the spirits, the vengeful spirits of Roanoke, the creepy forest.
With the fucking torches and...
the folks, the cannibalism.
Oh, man.
Oh man, Kathy Bates is
Kathy
she's
Bates.
no joke.
Oh my God,
she's one of my favorite folks in Hollywood right now, hands down. Always has been.
As the butcher. Remember, she was the
really,
butcher.
And here's your
would you have bought that
connection.
house? Would you have moved into that house? Like,
No,
really?
first of all, the house is ugly as hell to begin with. I'm sorry.
Yes.
But you know what I love? The Kathy, here's our second Robert Eggers not mentioned now because he made the movie The Witch, which I love to death, of course.
Yes.
The character of
Mhm.
Anya Taylor-Joy's character in The Witch is Thomason, and Kathy Bates' character in this episode her name is Thomason. So that's like some old-fashioned
Oh.
whatever. Anyway, yeah.
See,
I didn't
there
know
you
that.
go.
Yeah,
There you go.
so those are the reasons for me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really scary. It's really creepy. The cannibals. Oh,
Yeah.
Any
the
cannibalism.
butcher.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So
Bill, what you got?
my number 4,
What you got?
and it could have creeped anywhere between 4 to 2, was Apocalypse.
Okay.
Oh,
Apocalypse.
You guys, these I
we
like
just
it.
exchanged really.
like
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
like
I mean,
it. I like
it was
it.
a tough decision, but to me, Apocalypse brought a lot of the stories in together. It tied in a lot of the pieces, and it was a great, especially coming after Coven. It was one of those things that just started to make sequential sense through tight sequential sense. But again, there's some tie-ins on that. We'll get into the tie-ins later on it, but some characters that are tie-ins on that you have to definitely we'll discuss more about the tie-ins on that one. But yeah, it's tied in so many of these episodes together, brought all the characters together. But we'll talk about that when we move further into the deeper discussions on it.
All right, so 3. Oh, sorry, 3. Well, yeah.
Number 4.
4. 4.
For
I'm gonna
you.
go
Yeah.
Asylum.
Yeah.
Asylum at 4.
What?
Okay. Okay.
That was what, season 2 or 3? I can't remember what it was. So I love like the whole mental hospital thing with setting it in there because there's always been these. I love the idea of these creepy old like abandoned hospitals that are great for photos and great for like urban exploration. And they're spooky settings. There's been so many like awful stories of what happened because they shut a lot of these places down because of the awful things that happened in them, right?
Yeah.
Now they weren't like science experiments, but people were getting abused and they weren't being fed and overcrowding. So now they bring this into this episode, into this series, into this season. I thought that was really kind of cool. And the mystery of the bloody face killer and who is this guy. And it was fun to kind of keep going over that and the twists, and you find out who it was and trying to figure out who it was the whole time. And then like the experiments that was going on with the crazy Nazi doctor, right? Like that was wild. And then the nun possessed like the whole series, the whole season was great. There were all these different things going on. And at the end of it, when Lana gets out and she writes the expose, and it's like Geraldo and he visited like these places, and it's stealing that like real life, real world look at these like awful places. Because this was a big thing. They would shut these places down. It was big news in like the 70s and 80s, and they closed these.
Yeah.
And now these places like Briarcliff, which is what it's called, like Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, and they're now open for tours. And Bill, I know you've always wanted to go to Eastern State Penitentiary.
Man.
Where is this at? Is this Asylum?
Where is it supposed to be?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, I think, Massachusetts is where
Massachusetts.
Briarcliff.
Yep.
So I like that real world tie-in with these things that actually happen.
That's true.
And like, the Nazi experiments are spooky, and like that stuff was cool for me. And it was just this like when they try to get out, they leave in the woods, and there'd be these creatures like living in the woods, and it was there was a lot. I think there was a lot to like to it. I found it interesting. It wasn't again a perfect season, but it had your great Sarah Paulson's like fantastic in it, right? I mean, she's always so good, but she's so good in that season.
She's really good, but I hated Asylum. I hated Asylum.
I liked Asylum. I liked it, but as much I like deep dark stuff,
too much.
It was so dark for me that I had to struggle through some episodes. It was just that because we start dealing with the deep mental issues. It's like a super dark place,
and that's where like it was like that was real thing, and that's why those exposés they would do after this stuff. There was bad stuff going on in those places. Yeah, for real.
It's just so much going on in Asylum. There's just so many things happening.
There's a lot.
I wish they focused on a few things. I'm like getting confused. There's an alien. There's a
the alien. I forgot about that. That's right. That's right.
Don't even get started on that one.
Yeah, definitely could have done without like the whole nun being possessed. That was weird. Like the experiments and the stuff, and that stuff kind of made sense. But there was a lot happening. But
and then what is this author who came back to life? What's her name? Jesus, what's her name? She's Anne something.
Are you talking about Anne Frank?
Oh,
Ant-Man. Remember she
right.
came.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
And
Yep.
then she noticed like, oh, that's the doctor. The doctor was like the same,
Yep.
person who
Nazi,
terrorized
like those
everyone.
Nazi doctors, like
Yes.
that was some scary, like real deal, like stuff that happened, dude. Like experiment. I'm not gonna go there, but yeah. Anyway,
That's a
no,
whole
that's
nother
another.
discussion.
That's
Because
for another day.
yeah.
All right, so we got 2 down. All right,
All
Oh
right.
my God.
What's number
three.
three, Joe May?
Okay, number 3 is season 1 Murder House. It
Okay.
has to be in my top 3. It's
Okay.
a hard
Originated.
decision. It's a really hard decision because it could be at number 2 or number 3, but I decided number 3. Again, iconic characters: Tate Langdon, Evan
Yep.
Peters. It's really a whole mix of cute and creepy at the same
Yeah.
time.
He's the best.
Constance Langdon, Jessica Lang. It's just serving,
Nosy ass neighbor, right? Yeah.
manipulative Southern charm, and then
Right.
Moira.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
she's both sultry and tragic.
the hot maid.
the hot
Yes.
maid.
So hot.
The not so hot maid.
Well, for certain people, it's hot. Depends who you are, I guess, right? Yeah. Some people see
Okay.
an 80-year-old, and some people see the hot maid. I
I
don't
know,
know.
I know. I wish I'll see her as a hot maid if
Oh,
I
man.
see her.
Right.
Oh, why is it scary? It's got everything really. Ghosts, tragic backstories, a cursed house, family drama. It's dark, twisted. It's full of surprises. It stands out, because that's where it all started. It really set the tone of the American Horror Story vibe of mixing past and present horrors into a house.
And the thing is, a lot that came from season 1 had some carryovers and tie-ins to the rest of the seasons too. But again, we'll discuss how this stuff is tied in together.
Yeah, I mean, Jessica Lange, Constance's character is everything. Evan Peters, he became a fan favorite from the very beginning.
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh, and then the most iconic scene here is when Tate reveals that he's the rubber man.
Yeah.
And also, oh my God, when Violet realizes that she's dead.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I was
that part.
Isn't her like rotting body like under the house or
Yes.
something?
Yeah.
She OD'd.
Gnarly.
She didn't realize that she actually OD'd. She was
That's
successful in killing herself, but Tate hid it from her.
Yeah.
I had no idea because I was like, why is this woman still, roaming around?
It was
like one of those.
There forever.
It's like that Sixth Sense deal where the character dies, but they're trying to keep it fooled from you. You don't really know what's happening, kind of thing. Again, yeah. I like
that made me scared.
But like I said, it's tragic because she stuck there forever. She didn't want to be there, and then she stuck there.
I know, it's
for eternity.
Yeah,
right? So which is kind of scary. I don't know.
Well,
it's
if that's
just
real,
really
scary.
Scary. Yeah. It's a good first season.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my number 3.
What you got?
And it's a very controversial one for some people.
Okay.
Oh God.
Was Cult.
I hate it.
Okay.
I hate it.
Cult's good. Cult's good.
So it's a couple reasons for me. It's funny because it aired, after the 2016 elections.
Very timely.
And it featured like a community that was torn apart, through a cult leader who, made his way through politics using fear for political gain. So I'll leave that where it is just to keep the peace with everybody. But it's just so ironic. And then every episode was iconic to me because, and Matt knows, and Joe May probably knows, I'm not a fan of clowns.
Oh, that's right.
Ever.
There are so many clowns in this season.
Yes.
So many spraying green fog. And...
Yes.
A cult clown.
So it was a bit of a non-sexual masochist kind of way, masochism for me to watch. It's like I'm watching through it and it just keeps me on my edge because I don't
facing your fear.
Basically, every episode was me facing my fears. I mean, Pulse and her role was incredible.
She was great.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And then I think because she also, like I said, I think she made an appearance on there as well as I think Lana made an appearance on that as well, but couldn't get an interview for some reason. But she made an appearance in that episode, that season. So
yeah.
But no, I think it was a sign of the times. I mean, I don't know if they started writing and filming this before the election,
Yeah, I don't know the details on that.
I don't know the history behind, when it was all produced, but yeah,
Well, it was like what year? What year was it? 2017.
2017.
Yeah, so it was after the 2016 election.
Yep.
So I don't know if they wrote it with some sort of tie-in.
Well, see, it would have so it would have been because they always release them in September or October. So half the year would have gone by because you would have had a January in office thing from the election, and then then it would have premiered 6 or 7 months later. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
But yeah, that's number 3 for me. I love Colt and hate it at the same time.
I think that's fair. I think it was a good sign of the times episode season. I keep saying episode. All right.
Yeah.
3, Coven. I love witches. Anyone that knows me knows I love anything about witches.
Yeah.
And I think this was the cast that was just awesome, right?
Yeah.
It's down in New Orleans, and it's this, what is the whatever school for the gifted, and they're so good. It's it's Emma Roberts, and it's the Supreme, and it's what is the
What's the name of their now I forgot the school.
I know, I can't remember it either.
Jesus Christ, how did I forget?
But it's such a good cast of them, and they fit so well.
Oh, Miss Robichaud Academy.
Miss Robichaud,
exceptional young ladies.
Exceptional young ladies. There you go. Yeah, and they're so good. They all have these different powers, and what's her face is such a bitch. Emma Roberts' character, Madison, right, or whatever.
Madison
Queenie, she's awesome, and you've got the Supreme Cordelia.
Vaughan.
I love the burning at the stake scene they do twice. It was fabulous.
That was
and
so
of course,
good.
New Orleans, and that was the one with Madame Lalaurie, right, with Kathy Bates' character.
Oh, so good.
Marie Laveau, and cursing her with immortality, and then burying her alive for the rest of her life, which is crazy, right? So and it has that they shot it down there, and they're wearing the scenes, they're all in black, and they have their raincoats, and they're walking around, and it's just these images are so powerful, and they're so good.
Iconic.
And then she loses her sight, and then it comes back, and they do the seven wonders, seven wonders, right? I just thought it was so, like I said, I love anything with witches, and so anything with this, whether it's accurate, whether it's offensive, I mean, we can't get this stuff right. I realize that we've talked about that before, but for me, that one was just so good. Where my witches at? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, too, but I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna preface this. This is my number 2.
And the first episode was called Bitchcraft, right?
How about that? But Coven was my number 2, so I'm gonna piggyback off what you're saying.
Okay.
Is that one of my favorite parts though? Was Stevie Nicks showed up.
Oh my God.
I wanted to mention that part.
That.
With what's her face, obsessed with Stevie Nicks, and that whole thing was so that was cool. It was weird. It was whatever, but I was cool with it, right? Lily.
I remember Misty, the witch.
Lily Robb or Rabe, or whatever her last name was. That.
So fun fact, she actually passed out in real life when they introduced. Remember when Jessica Lange was like, "Here, somebody wants to meet you," and then when she turned around, it was Stevie Nicks, and then she just passed out. It was actually real. It was real.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I was kind of amazed by that, by the Stevie Nicks showing up, period. But even that happening, wow.
Bitchcraft, great. When you have a title like that for your first episode, you got me. I'm in. I'm good to go. And then at the end, was that the season at the end where then all the little girls show up at the end and they're trying to get in there, or was that the end?
Until they try and get to the academy, they don't have to hide anymore.
It's like this girl power thing too. So.
It's a girl power thing.
All right, so we got 2 more to go. So this is where I feel like we're going to be closer on agree, but I don't know. So Joe, Melissa, I don't know. We got number 2, right? So what?
God, number 2. Number 2 for me is season 5 Hotel, which is in 2015, 2016. Right. Okay, so I'll start with the iconic character. I mean, Lady Gaga as the Countess.
So fucking good.
Elizabeth Johnson.
She is so good.
Yeah.
Good. We're all oh my God, Lady Gaga.
She's one of the few people that showed up in every episode of that series. She was on every episode. Sometimes a character would drop off a few episodes.
Did she win a Golden Globe? Did she win anything for that? I don't remember.
She did. She did win a Golden Globe.
Because she was incredible, dude.
Yeah, she's incredible.
The way her makeup is on her particular facial features, it makes her look sort of animalistic.
She's unique looking.
Yes.
Overall.
Oh, she already has like an androgynous look anyway, so that's
And
like she's
androgynous, but kind of,
perfect.
I hate to say it for the bad term, but like kind of a vampy kind of look. Like she has a verminy, vampy kind of look when they made her up.
It
They
worked
made her like a predator.
Androgynous.
She looked like a predator.
Yeah.
A sexy predator, but a
And
predator.
she was, and that's exactly what she was.
Okay, so another iconic character is Liz Taylor.
Yes.
Remember? Dennis O'Hare. I mean,
I met him at a show once, and after my sister got his autograph, and we both were like, "So what is Liz up to?" And he goes, "Well, she's probably doing."
Yeah.
It's just her story. I don't know. It's just heartbreaking. And then Sally, Sarah Paulson's character.
Yeah, the junkie, right?
The junkie, she's just like straight up unhinged in the best way.
Yes.
Okay, so why is it scary for me? Because the whole vibe of the hotel. I mean, I used to work for hotels too, so it's like
we all did. We all worked in one, I think, right? Yeah, we all did.
We're all in the hospitality.
Yeah,
we were.
That's why The Shining that's why I love The Shining part of it too. For me is because of that. Yeah, hotel, exactly.
I mean, the hotel is creepy AF, and then you add in the creepy kids. Remember the
vampire kids?
The vampire kids and the Egyptian demon, remember?
Yeah.
That shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then it's just a fever dream of like glam and gore, artsy, dark, full of twists. And then you have this like, haunted hotel. My favorite part here is the Devil's Night dinner. It's insane.
Isn't that the best?
Classic night. Classic episode.
Oh my God. You know how much we all love serial killers.
I wish they had brought more of them, but they did a good job.
Can I be part of this? They have Eileen Wuornos, John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Richard Ramirez.
Yep.
Like, can I be part of this dinner?
Are we missing one more? Oh, they brought the Zodiac killer, didn't they, too, right?
Zodiac. Yes, the Zodiac.
Yes.
So and then they have like this room 64. Remember the room 64? It's the epicenter of all the creepy stuff
happening. Like the Shining room, like room 217, 237 from The Shining, right? Yeah.
Hotel Cortez. I just really love how Ryan Murphy brings all the history. I mean, it's American history, horror story after all.
Yep.
So here's a couple things. I think. See, this is where we start again. We're starting to line up around each other on some of these episodes. Because Hotel's actually my number one, but. So I'm gonna share some of my facts on this one. Is that, like the Hotel Cortez, that was in the story, is really based on those downtown LA hotels.
The Hotel Cecil.
Specifically like the
Cecil?
Cecil.
Is that how you pronounce it? Cecil.
I think it's Cecil.
Yeah, the Cecil where, we had people a lot of drug addicts lived there, a lot of people died. Some I think Richard Ramirez lived there once, right?
Oh yeah. People go and they murder folks in there.
Yeah,
and they
I mean it's
there's a Netflix documentary about this. Remember? Did you watch that? The Netflix documentary about this hotel?
I think there is, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a class because those hotels been in LA for so long, especially with the actors or the wannabe actors.
A lot of history.
They were cheap. You can rent by the
week. A lot of history.
So people died in there, people OD'd in there, so a lot of spirits, these people say a lot of spirits exist in those. I don't know which ones are still open now because I know a lot of them closed down. They couldn't really renovate them to anything else. But yeah, it's again the way they shot it. And to your point, Joe May, like with the classic hotels,
that fisheye lens in a lot of those shots are like crazy.
I mean, but also you're in such a dark place.
It's so good.
The shots were so great, and the set designs were incredible.
The outfit.
It like hands down. It was a beautifully shot.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Season. By far, one of those beautifully shot seasons.
Bill, what is the hotel in New York City where Sid Vicious died? Where's that famous hotel?
Oh, down in the Village.
The one with the big iron the balconies.
Where
is that?
all the punk rockers live.
Yeah.
It slips my mind right now.
Yeah, but that's a famous hotel where a lot of history that has happened in there too.
Absolutely.
I need to see that. Is it in Manhattan?
Yeah, it's in Manhattan.
Downtown in the Village,
I forget
down in Greenwich Village.
We'll think of it later.
Oh my God! Send me the info.
Yeah. Hotel Cecil.
I need to see.
So with that being said, and just going back to what my number two was Coven. So just kind of pass that over. Since we talked a lot about Coven, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I think we stated a lot of stuff. So Matt, I'm gonna pass the ball over to you.
Two.
Yeah.
Two.
Hotel, baby.
Ah,
Yeah.
So let's go. I guess we still at Hotel right now.
All right, so I
they're
want
the
to.
same.
I'm gonna take a couple minutes because I want to explain the reason. Like my favorite scene in the entire series is in that first episode. We're halfway through, and this is where I found out this song. I remember watching and wanted to know the song. It starts off with a song by She Wants Revenge, and the song is called "I Want to Tear You Apart," and that's when it starts playing, and you see Gaga and Matt Bomer is the actor, but I can't remember his character. What's the character?
Donovan.
That's right. And they're getting dressed, and they're getting the corsets on, and they're getting and they walk down the hall, and she's in that red gown with her white hair, and it reminds you of Dracula. Because he's in that red gown, and they follows him down the hall. So they're a vampire. I'm already getting that vibe. And they go to that outdoor movie theater, and he makes the eyes at that one woman and her boyfriend. And
yes.
Right? And now, of course, the other great part of that is, what movie are they watching on the lawn out there? Do you guys remember?
What was it? No, I cannot remember.
Nosferatu. They're watching Nosferatu, right?
Yep.
Then they go back to the hotel. Okay, now we're going to watch an orgy. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
And they're, swapping around and each other, and they're naked, and there's beautiful people, and they're having this big orgy, and it's great to watch. The music is there. And then they break out like the knives and the claws, and they just slice the guy in the girl's throat, and they start feeding. And it's just this like beautiful scene of sex
in a round bed. Isn't it like a round bed, a circular bed?
It's just this scene of sex and just bodies and violence and the like I said, the song plug for She Wants Revenge. There you go. I love that song, and that scene is just so great. And then of course the funny part at the end, they're like, she looks at him and says, "Will you call housekeeping?" It's like,
yes.
But the whole season, okay, like you said, the Devil's Night Dinner with the serial killers. I love that.
I love that.
And the shots are so unique with fisheye lenses and things. And I mean, everyone in this is just the perfect. So, and like you were talking about the Hotel Cecil is that crazy story. That woman, they found her body in a water tower, I guess, or whatever it was there.
She was swimming or something. They showed the
Right.
elevator footage.
Yes, she's like
she was acting all crazy in the elevator, like
there's
looking
nobody
down the
there,
hallway and running away from something.
She's
or somebody.
like walking back and forth. Pacing.
Yeah.
And it's just like the idea of these spirits trapped inside this place, right? It's just so crazy. And Lady Gaga is just so good. She is the best.
So
She's the best, vixen van. Look, if anyone's ever going to turn me, I want her to turn me. Okay, I want that to happen because she's the one I'd want to do that. And the vampire kids, obviously, and just and what's her face is in it too. Chloe Sevigny. I love her. She's an Asylum.
The wife of the policeman.
And Wes Bentley, right?
Speaking on the same thing, she and Lady Gaga are the two people, not the two people who showed up in every episode.
Yeah, I think they're in every one of them, right?
Yeah, in every episode. Yeah, they're the two. So just to bring that back to what I was talking about earlier with Lady Gaga.
Yeah, that one scene did it. I mean, the whole season was great, but that one scene really did it for me. I tell you what, that was So that is
it's so funny.
That is a very possible number one, but I put it at 2 for now. So that's
I know.
It's funny in Hotel how when they got to the point they didn't want the hotel to close down. Because so many people getting murdered and missing in there, they started out a business model, and they they learn in social media and all the other stuff. And also
Kathy Bates,
the medium,
Kathy Bates,
Billy Dean showed up.
Yeah,
in this one as well. Billy Dean was in Murder House.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, it's another tie-in too because both of these are in L.A.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's just amazing how these stories start to come together in so many ways. So, but Hotel is definitely
so good.
My favorite by far. So that's number one for me.
All right, number one. Speaking of, we have arrived. All right, Joe Melissa.
Oh my God, my number one.
What do we got?
It's so fitting.
I know.
Shirt on.
I hope you all are watching on YouTube because you got to see her shirt. It's fantastic. Yeah.
I'm the next Supreme.
She's got the next Supreme T-shirt.
Please, forever young.
Hey,
So my number one is definitely Coven.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, let's talk about Fiona. Fiona Good, Jessica Lange. She's like the ultimate boss witch.
She is.
Yep.
She is ruthless, glam, and totally iconic. Madison, Emma Roberts, and she's just like, chaotic, bratty, mean girl.
She's perfect. She's perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
She's perfect for the role.
Myrtle Snow.
Oh, Myrtle, that's the one. I
Frankenstein.
remember her name. She's the one that gets burned at the stake. Yes.
Yes.
She's
Absolute
great.
legend with her, quirky fashion,
Her hair.
epic one-liners, and then Queenie
I love Queenie.
Gabariste DeBay. Is that how you
great.
pronounce her name? She's like literally a human voodoo doll. I mean, everything.
I
So
mean,
why is it scary for me? I mean, it's got these like creepy voodoo rituals, witches betraying each other.
Yeah.
And then the backstory of Madame Lalaurie.
Lalaurie. That's right.
Yeah.
I like the the history. I didn't know all about this. That's why I love
Isn't that
the
cool?
American
Yes.
Horror Story. I'm learning all about, and I'm from the
Yeah.
Philippines. I'm learning all about all these we have all these type of Filipino
Spooky American stories, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ours is really weird.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I will
Remember,
say
I told you
too,
some story.
in Coven, Evan Peters is always incredible.
Amazing.
I mean, that dude, the role he played, he went from, he became that savage, sex idol in the
He's
show.
a Frankenstein in that season.
Basically,
isn't
but
he?
they
right?
Yeah.
in love with him.
Right.
Because Taisa, what's her name? She's like Black Widow.
Now, remember Tyson Farmiga, don't forget, you probably know that's Vera Farmiga's
Sister.
Yeah.
I thought it was her daughter. She was her daughter.
No, she's not
I
that
had to
old.
Google.
Right.
Yeah, she's not that old.
She's a good actress, too.
Yeah, so anyway, why does it stand out for me? It's all about, girl power, epic showdowns, killer dialogue, the costumes is like chef's kiss. And then obviously Stevie Nicks. I wasn't really a fan of hers until after, I've seen
Oh my God.
Cool.
and
One
I
of the
started
highest
listening.
paid rock stars in the world.
I know. I'm like, whoa.
How old is Stevie Nicks?
Oh,
She's
we have
probably
to
gotta be
Google
about
the
early
We have to
70s, mid
Google
70s,
that.
somewhere.
She's still
something
around
like
though,
that.
right? Yeah.
But her residuals right now are incredible because you look at many songs that they released together. Her as a solo artist, her, also in the group and stuff is like, dude, she's one of the greatest. And she started in the band as just a tambourine player.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, I listened to the album. I love the album.
Yeah.
Anyway, iconic scene. My most favorite iconic scene for me in the comic, which is hard to choose, is the Seven Wonders test. And then when they start burning Myrtle, and then she screams, Balenciaga!
Love it. Burning people at the stake. That's what we need.
Yes.
More of it.
Yes.
So
But it showed how vicious they
truly,
are. As elegant as they can try to be, they're so vicious.
Oh, they're
deep
awful.
down inside,
They're awful. They're so
the thing is, but even with the turning within that season, the turning alliances, constantly, there was never the same alliance going through it until the end.
And then Madison was brought. You remember Fiona Good killed Madison, and then she was brought back to life. Oh, and then that personal hell.
Yeah.
Personal hell.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking, well, what would it be?
Oh my God.
For me,
I don't want to think about it because don't think something might happen. You ran into the wrong.
Exactly. I'm not gonna put that out there for somebody kidnap me and put me in my personal.
You find these witches and they do that to you. You don't want that.
I know, like Misty, she's like opening a frog. Because she brings back. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just, I love it. I love it.
It is good.
I actually just started watching it again. So.
Yeah.
All right. So what was one, Bill? What did you say?
Number one was Hotel.
Hotel.
Number one was Hotel. I mean, I think I probably stated enough about Hotel. I can't state enough about Hotel.
Oh.
Everything about it was, horrifying, beautiful, suspenseful. It brought around a bunch of characters. Again, when all the serial killers came together for dinner and the way they're interacting with each other, like regular people in a sense. It just amazes me how they went. It's how twisted it is. And if you worked in any of these old hotels, you do have some. I've been in locations before. Like even when I'm freelancing, when I was freelancing at different places for events and stuff, I may have to stay at old hotels. They're definitely scary. There's something in some of these hotels sometimes, and not that I'm scared of ghosts, but it's something that just kind of alerts you. I remember one time I was in South Carolina. I'm gonna veer off for a minute, just get back to understanding why this was so iconic to me. Is that I was in South Carolina in Charleston, and staying at this historic hotel downtown. Before I was doing some work that I was on tour, and I got into the room and I cut the bathroom light off. Get ready to go to bed, cut the TV on so I can fall asleep. I look back over, the light is still on. Go back in the bathroom and I shut it off and I tell myself I'm shutting this light off. Maybe I forgot.
And no motion lights in an old hotel anyway, like that.
No, these are
No.
regular flip switches.
Oh.
Right.
I go back in, and so that means every time I went back in, the switch was flipped up.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Physically.
That's
So
scary.
this happened like 3 or 4 times at night, and it got to the point where I just went to sleep. I mean, the hotel was so old as the original wood floors in the hotel
That's awesome.
in the room, so
Oh.
you can hear all kind of creaking through the night and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not scared, so to say, but I just wanted to go to sleep because you had to get up early in the morning.
Well, yeah, you got stuff
right?
to do. You got
And when
stuff
you're
to
on
do.
tour, the one thing you want to do is be able to go in the room,
I would have
take a
taken some
shower, and rest.
Tylenol PM to knock me
Hey,
out.
you know, I got bourbon to go to sleep, so you know.
Yeah,
That's
what's
the magic
really
elixir. But I say that's why I like the old hotels, because there's so much history behind them. The architecture, the original. You think about how many people have walked through those spaces in all the years has been existing.
Yeah. Kind of
You
creepy.
know, so
Oh man, I was in Milwaukee a couple months ago, and I stayed at the Pfister Hotel. I recommend it's like a 4-star. It's a beautiful old hotel, marble stairs and iron railings. And I think I told you, Bill. I used shout to my man Sean Austin. I used his new SPI Spirit app.
yeah.
I had some serious activity in that
You
hotel,
showed me,
from floor to
Oh,
floor.
wow.
I got some communication, and there was some really interesting things. It was a beautiful old hotel, and
Yeah.
I spent a good
Mhm.
hour and a half running around and having these conversations with somebody or something that was there. So
Man.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's pretty cool. Hotels are
Yeah,
spooky
yeah,
like that.
but no, but yeah, hotels #1 for me. It to me,
Yeah.
it brought a lot of stuff together. A lot of my favorite things about horror movies, you know, into one
Mhm.
place. So yeah, and also the funny part is, and I guess we didn't mention it, but it was almost like a Shutter Island kind of feel.
Oh, I love that movie.
Your boy found out, it's like,
God.
oh, damn.
Mm.
When are we talking about that movie, man? Okay, that's
So it's like it's so many twists and turns in it.
it was kind of like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
Ah.
it kept me engaged every time, each week. It kept me engaged.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we all watch it like what? We definitely
finding out
watch
he
it
was the
every
killer
week.
kind of was
Yeah.
a spin. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was good.
absolutely.
We definitely
absolutely.
did now binge watch. I remember us chatting about this at work
Oh,
Yeah.
every week.
I would record them and then watch them the next day. I always,
Yeah, I
I'd
know.
always
Yeah,
within,
me
like 24
too.
hours.
I
Yeah.
religiously watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not
for
live
sure.
though.
Absolutely.
All right, so
And
I'm
little
gonna
scary
wrap.
kids always scare me. Go
Oh,
ahead, man.
vampire children, like Village of the
Yeah,
Damned,
scary
right?
kids, man, always scare me. So
Holden, the name of the little kid.
Holden,
Yeah.
that's right. The vampire. Though he's the one that disappears, right? The one that they thought was dead,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
All right. So here. Then I know the suspense is killing everyone. So all
Uh-oh.
right. So number one, it has to be Murder House.
Yeah, it has to be.
Okay.
Murder. Yeah,
It has to be.
I agree with
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I would agree.
We
Yeah.
the 45 minutes or whatever we just talked about doesn't exist unless we have
Murder
this
House
to
is there.
start.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
look, if for nothing else, who doesn't like a haunted house story? I mean, honestly,
Mhm.
right? That's what this is. It's a haunted house movie. It kind of feels like a film, and it's got all these cool turns and these, the what's her face, Mara, one of the Mara kids coming and I'm pregnant with your kid, and he's already having problems with his wife, and the crazy thing with the maid, and then the other guy showing up, he was the previous owner, and then we find out it was the husband and the wife, and they're doing all these crazy surgeries and getting their baby back together, and all these wild. And the man in the rubber suit reminds me of like People Under the Stairs when the crazy dad is running.
Yes. I got him.
Yeah, I got him. I love that movie too. That's for another day. But I think we did talk about that actually on another episode.
Yes. Ving Rhames.
Yeah, but yeah, Murder House is just great. I think that was our first taste of this, and it's Jessica Lange, and it's what's her face, Connie Britton from Friday Night Lights, which I love. And
Yeah.
Dude from like the Law and Order show. I can't remember his name now. I'm forgetting it already.
Yeah,
but,
what's his name?
He's really good, and we get introduced for the first time to these characters, and then we get to find out them later. And I love how she takes the tour of LA and she drives by her own house and sees like the crazy stuff.
Yes.
Connie Britton.
That
She's
is
great.
crazy.
Love her. And I love the ending because you know what? Everyone just like dies. They all die, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't want a happy ending. I want things to like end terribly sometimes, and it was just this new show, and it was the way to kick things off. And I said, okay, this is so great. Did I imagine it would be like 12 seasons later? Probably not. I would have loved it as standalone, but I'm so glad we have all of this so we can talk about all of this. So,
so good.
that being said,
I see Asylum now on that house though. I mean, not Asylum, but the what's the name, Murder House.
Yeah.
I read recently that they had one owners had bought it and they stayed every bit of 24 hours, but they decided they couldn't stay there anymore. It was just that creepy in that house.
Really
that
creeping
actual
them out. Are people like,
Mhm.
okay, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, they stayed about
It's
28, say
called
24
the
hours.
Rosenheim Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in LA and I thought about
Did you
that, but
not see that? Yeah, it's in
it
LA.
wasn't on my like route where I was heading, unfortunately.
Oh,
But
I really need to.
I do want to see. Yeah, I mean, there's so many places to go look at.
I
I mean,
really
LA's a
Um,
need
big
to do
place
that.
though,
so
so
how about all right? Now, all this said and done, what? Give me one, just one. Which one did you dislike the most? Which one you're like, I don't want to watch it. I didn't like watching it at the time, and I definitely will never rewatch it. What is that?
go ahead, Joe man. I know which one you're gonna say.
I know what it is for me. For me, it's
For me, it's Asylum.
okay.
I was so disappointed because I was like, Murder House, woo, like truly iconic. And
Right.
then Asylum is like,
There was too much you said happening. Or
it's
whatever,
just so
right?
much happening. It's just so much happening. They need to
Yeah,
focus on one thing because I don't know. I
Yeah,
can't
that's
keep
fair.
up.
that's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Freak show can take a hike for me. That
Wow.
Oh, Freak
You know
Show.
what?
That's the one I'd never seen that whole episode, the whole
I
season. Oh,
I loved the fact that the costume in the period is set in the 40s. I love that part of it.
yeah.
And I
Yes.
love that they actually shot it in Florida and it's authentic to what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't do anything for me. It just
But
Yeah.
what's her
now
name?
go
Sarah
go
Paulson was
go
a great
see
actress, though. When
now what
with
I
having
think.
two heads.
Oh yes, fabulous. Now what I think though, have you seen Freaks, Bill? Todd Browning, the old 1932 movie.
Yeah. Oh,
They're,
yeah.
No.
they're trying to basically recreate that film, and I love that film.
Mm.
But I
Yeah.
don't think I needed a show about it. I didn't need a season. I just
The film is so gritty and
it, it's
exploitive
offensive
that
and yeah,
it couldn't be
it's a lot
redone
of
in
it's
the
a lot of
same
things. Yeah,
fashion.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot of things.
And I
Mhm.
would say my least favorite. Now I'm a preface this again. I liked all episodes. I like every
I
season
mean, they all
I've
have
seen.
yeah.
Mhm.
But I gotta say, Delicate is probably my least favorite, only because it's kind of
I think
like
a
you
lot
said,
of people
Rosemary's
agree with
Baby
you. Yeah,
all over again.
yeah, it is.
And,
It
and
is.
that's not a
Yeah.
jab. It's a different swing to the story. And again, that role and the actors surrounding her, I think Kim Kardashian actually did a pretty decent job
She was great.
a role
I
like
thought
that.
she was
She was
great.
great. She was great.
I mean, she wasn't, winning any awards for it, but I think she did a great job. And
Mhm.
I'm not a huge fan of that whole, the social media, superstars and stuff like that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
nah. So yeah, Delicate was probably the
Okay.
least favorite for me.
I think a lot of people that I look at stuff, I think agree with that probably as well. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
all right, two-part question. Name your favorite actor from the whole series and give me a
Oh my
favorite
God.
character. Give me a favorite character. I'll give you Sarah Paulson, favorite actor because the range that she can play.
Yeah.
And favorite character is the Countess, Lady Gaga from Hotel.
Oh
Me,
God.
That's
Mm.
easy for me.
Okay. I'll jump on real quick.
You start.
Evan Peters to me.
He's pretty good.
He showed him. I think he showed him all years, but what 1984 in New York City. Those
He
only
can
two
he's
seasons he
pretty
didn't play in. But my favorite role he played, it was multiple roles, like 7 characters in Cult.
Yeah,
If you look back at
he
it,
is crazy
including
in that.
Charles Manson,
Kai,
Uh-huh.
Andy Warhol,
yes,
Jim Jones,
yes.
Yeah.
even Jesus.
Yeah.
He played all these roles.
I like to say I played Jesus. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, dude, it showed his dynamic.
And now he's played Dahmer in that series, and he was out.
Well, that's what I say. He played Dahmer.
Outstanding.
So I mean, his
He's
range
really,
is
yeah.
incredible because
He's a great actor.
the way he emotes and expresses is true Hollywood greatness to me.
He is.
So I would always say if I saw it, I would shake his hand and give him props because I mean he killed it all those
really
years
good.
on this show.
Really good.
So yeah.
Oh my God. This is tough. I mean, I would just give it to Jessica Lange because
She's
you already
great.
mentioned the Sarah Paulson, who's like
Yeah.
she would have so many characters in one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jessica Lange, and then her character as Fiona Good. I mean, she's like a queen.
I
No
love
one can beat her. Her
That's good.
greediness, her youthfulness, and she's just like vicious.
Yeah, she's sweet and vicious at the same
manipulative.
time. That's the
very
thing
vicious.
about it.
Oh yeah, very vicious. So I think I love a couple things about this show. I'll just recap. Is one thing I didn't add Apocalypse to this list, but I do want.
know. Why did
I
you
would
not
be
do that?
remiss to say because of course I love anything to do with Manson. Is that they recreate that scene of that night at Cielo Drive, right? And I
Yeah.
think that for me was like, okay, wow, I'm getting to see this recreation, and I think they did a very accurate job of it. I mean, it was a horrible thing that happened, but I think recreating it was done really, really well. And
Yeah.
Evan Peters playing, I mean, that's crazy. So, and I love these
Yeah.
historical, they bring in these serial killers, and they bring in the Lalaurie point,
Yes.
the mansion, and they bring in these actual factual moments in history that come up, and they intertwine them, and they bring them all together. So, and I think you guys were talking, if you want to talk about how these characters intersect and how these seasons intersect, and they all kind of, there's moments where things come together on the whole series, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, like, let's say, like, character tie-in for me, one of the greatest ones for me was was Murder House and Apocalypse. You know, the time for that was was Michael Langdon.
Yep.
Because he's a son of Tate and Vivian.
Yep. He's
and
the kid.
He comes back as the Antichrist in Apocalypse.
Who kills like the maid and the house at the end of the first, right?
Yeah, remember the Murder House, he's all bloody and everything.
Oh my
in his little rocking chair, just like chilling after
so he created that wasteland in Apocalypse, so it's just it's amazing how they come together. And even like Billy Dean teased a natural birth, in Murder House, so
and they brought back the Coven too.
Yeah, exactly. So Coven is attached to it too because
that
was cool.
Madison Montgomery went to Murder House to find more backstory on Langdon's past.
Yep.
So it's like you see how this stuff kind of
that's cool.
How they tie it all in.
I like it.
So
I like it.
So that connection is incredible.
What are you gonna tell if a friend of yours, has not seen American Horror Story?
Well, it depends if they like to watch that stuff. I would encourage them to check it out. But if they're not into that content, kind of hard. But would you also ask, what season would you ask?
Yeah, what season would you recommend first?
I think I have to tell them to go to Murder House. I think you don't have to go in order with these, well, except maybe for Apocalypse. But I think you should watch the first season first. I think you should.
I think Murder House should be the first one. I think that should be essential to watch as the first one. I think after that you can you can't really mix them all up because they still, again, when you start looking at some of the tie-ins from season to season, there's so many different tie-ins from season to season, that you start catching what they call the Easter eggs and stuff like that each season.
Exactly.
To be a faithful fan, you start seeing it's like, I get it now, So again, like I said, the Michael Langdon one, as a kid, and then into the full Antichrist and Apocalypse was mind blowing for me. When I saw it, when I thought about it, I was like, oh damn, that's who that is.
That's good.
So yeah.
Which one is your scariest character?
Oh God! Well, for Bill, it might be that Twisty the Clown, maybe.
You already called it exactly because that was the most deranged looking clown ever. Then he made another appearance in another.
He was in, I think, 1984. Was he?
I think so. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it was. Because they mentioned him and then Mr. Jingles. Scariest character, man. I don't even.
I would start first. I think for me is like Papa Legba.
Ooh, the voodoo. I like that.
Yeah.
He was.
They always bring him back. He was brought back in Apocalypse too, isn't it?
That's
he was at Coven, and then they brought because he's the one who gives he's scary.
Yeah, I mean that's voodoo history. That's especially you down New Orleans, boy, they'll tell you everything about
Papa Legba, and the way that Angela Bassett, has that accent is just God, it's so good.
Maybe the scariest might be Langdon. Might be the Antichrist is pretty terrifying. He can do anything he wants. I don't know. That spooks me. God, I never thought about that. I'd have to really give it some thought.
I know.
It could be a case of my favorite character and scariest might be the Countess. Both might be both because she's pretty scary. I mean. I don't know. Where would you, if you can make a season, if you go talk to Brian Murphy and Brad Falchuk right now, where would you set? And they said, okay, you get to direct this season. What would you do? What would you do with it?
I would go to Asylum and correct that season.
You'd redo Asylum. Okay, I like it. I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
We need to tone down. You can't have aliens. You have so much stuff going on here, okay? Right. You need to tone it down.
You can do it.
Yeah.
I would fix that. Because it's such a letdown for me after watching the Murder House. I'm like, oh my God. Now I'm like, shoot. season 3. Let's give it a try. Because I was so sad. I was like, oh my God, okay, let's try season 3. And then it brought back my
Right.
whoa, it's back again for me.
Good. I wonder if I would like to see something maybe like I keep thinking about The Wicker Man, which I love that movie so much. But then they made that cult season anyway because The Wicker Man is just a cult anyway. But maybe some folk horror, maybe like some British folk horror or something might be kind of cool. Something in that vein, like set on a on an island somewhere. And I don't know, some pagan kind of thing.
But that won't be American. That would be
I know.
Story.
I know it'd be.
But this may be a little cliche because it may have been overplayed in certain times. But even digging into, what's the name? In London, the killer,
Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper.
I love Jack the Ripper.
Deep into Jack the Ripper and like certain formative. Like out of theories that have been developed and maybe create something within that. Yeah. And somehow maybe it'll tie it back to everything else. Who knows? Or
you make one just about serial killers and you do focus on
I was going to say that.
BTK or,
please. Oh my God, bring all of them back.
What is going to be good though, and I think I told Joe and Melissa this before, the upcoming, the monster show that they did about Dahmer and Menendez.
Yes.
Next is, I think it's going to be Ed Gein, who is the butcher, the murderer from Plainfield, Wisconsin, the guy that's the inspiration for Psycho and everything. So I can't wait for that. I'm really excited for that one. Yeah. That's going to be really good. But I don't know, guys, closing thoughts, final thoughts on anything you didn't mention about, do you want to say about the series, a character, an episode, whatever?
Which one is the scariest episode? Which one would be like a scariest episode ever?
Anything with clowns in it for me.
Yeah, for you, that's right. I got to think about that too. I don't know that I could just answer that. That's tough.
I'm not scared of a clown, but I don't like clowns.
Hey,
clowns are like the weirdest things ever.
They're not for everyone. I guess you won't be going to the Clown Motel in Nevada with me.
I'll do it if you want to do a full taping in there. I'll do it.
Oh, I want to go.
I'm not gonna run.
There's a Clown Motel. Oh God.
Check out Tonopah,
Nevada. There's
Nevada.
From a cemetery.
Yes, there's a cemetery across the street. It's amazing. I can't wait.
You need to do that.
I'll do it. I'll sit in that room. We'll go. I can go sleep in that room. I don't care.
Yep. A trip to Area 51, go to Vegas, and then we road trip through basically just a road trip through Nevada. I've been thinking about it for years.
Yes, I mean there's some ghost towns out there.
Oh yeah, silver mines and all that stuff.
Yes.
Oh yeah, man.
Yes.
Is there like a group trip like this that you just explore American? We need to start that business.
We can.
No, exactly.
We should. Exactly. Hire us, people. Come on. We want to tour unexplained places for you and do television programs for you. We'd love to.
I tell you, man.
All right, so wow. No, go ahead.
Ryan Murphy's done a great job. I think he's definitely got some criticism off of the the monsters and the what's the name, the Jeffrey Dahmer, because he didn't get any consent or input from the victim's family.
They did not like that.
You should at least kind of reach out to get some idea, because first of all, you don't know, it may not stop the production, but you have to also understand that this will be traumatizing somebody.
This wasn't made up. This was real. This was real, man. This was real stuff.
Yeah. So, so if I got to criticize them on something, I have to criticize them on that, at least, I don't care if you just do a fun for the families or something that's going to prevent something like this from happening again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, it's just kind of like he just kind of walked away from it. Like, all right, well, on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a season 13? I saw online there's a possibility.
So I don't know. I was going to say, Liz, I'm not in the know right now, and I feel bad.
That they may bring Coven or Jessica Lange, something like that.
Interesting.
Whatever it's going to bring, I'm up for it. I'm like you guys, I'm a fan of whatever they have. So
yeah, I'm definitely in the watch.
I cannot believe that it's been since 2011. That's before I got married, before I had kids.
It's crazy.
I've been watching. Oh my God, I cannot believe it.
And it's gone so fast. And I hope, hopefully it keeps going, because I want to keep watching it. So
have you all seen the Ryan Murphy show? Grotesquerie. Something like that. Grotesquerie. It shows like Niecy Nash Betts as a
No,
The investigative reporter, she's not investigative, but a cop, and she's working with a nun or something like that. I saw like one episode of it, but it seems to be pretty good.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I just haven't had time to watch the rest of it. I think it's on Hulu, one of streaming.
I mean,
networks.
anything Ryan Murphy and
Pretty much.
and Brad Falchuk is good.
Whatever they're making, I mean, they hit home runs most of the time. Oh, and if anybody wants to watch it out there, folks, go to Hulu. You can watch every season, every episode's on Hulu.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, yeah.
You can.
Catch it there. All right. So we just went through a lot of them. We could spend many, many hours on this.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
But
we can talk all day.
For now, we'll wrap. So both of you, Bill, everyone knows where to find you, but tell everyone again where to find you. And Joe, Melissa, we need to let everyone know where to find you so they can keep up to date on what you're doing.
Well, I have an influencer page. It's called her_Africa_adventures.
Okay.
Because I'm always I'm a jet setter.
You're the African traveling queen, yes.
I'm going to Egypt in a few weeks, so you can find me there.
It's amazing. You've probably been to more countries in Africa than some people have been to states in the United States.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Absolutely. Well, y'all can always find me on Instagram at BassPlayerBV. Anytime I'm on there. And and all the rest of my links on there as well. So you can just hit the links on there. You find me everywhere else, social media.
Folks, you know the deal. We want to talk more about maybe horror story, whatever else you guys want to talk about. Email us.
Yeah.
thescarymovieproject@gmail.com. Sorry. Mostly active on Instagram. There is some Facebook activity if you want. You know how to find us. I think we had a great time talking about this. I want to thank you both for coming on. I know we've wanted to talk about this show for quite some time.
Yeah.
For quite a while. So I'm very glad that you came on. And as far as I want to do more TV stuff. So the possibility, I'll just throw it out there for a tease for everyone. Everyone loves The Walking Dead, right? Of course you do.
Oh my God, yeah.
Maybe an episode on the Walking Dead series might be in order.
We can
what
talk
about
the spin-offs and everything else, kind of figure out where we land at, because just like any other, like any of the comic, DC and Marvel, they have their own universe, the multiverse. The same thing with American Horror Story, and the same thing with The Walking Dead. There's a whole multiverse, especially now them all split out into different books.
I know.
I'm definitely curious. I haven't had a chance because they dropped all these different episodes back to back with New York, Daryl, and there's one more they put out there. I just haven't had time to watch it, but I'm definitely trying to catch up to all those things. But I'd be curious to come back and give our little analysis on what's what, because I don't see the show having the same audience for this long at this point. I think the end is near, and it's probably best to end gracefully than to end in a way people just get tired of it. So let's definitely bring that up, because that show is so instrumental in how we watch TV, and more back the whole zombie thing that we all enjoy. So many good nights watching that.
Love it.
So we'll figure it out, but let everybody else figure out what they want us to do. So
cheers
to cheers to American Horror Story. Right, we love it. Thank you guys for coming on. Great show. Until next time, I am the Phantom in the Box, the Shadow in your head.
The Scary Movie Project podcast. Learn more at thescarymovieproject.com.